Greetings, this is Mervo and H back with you once again. Now, as you may or may not know, I hope you know, I am part of a new podcast that's hopefully covering various things of furry entropy. We currently have two videos up right now at the time of recording this video, and we have one in the editing process. I shall put a link down below to where you can watch them if you are interested. I really hope you are. Anyway, the topic we're discussing next time, at least I think the topic we're discussing next time we get together and record another episode, is kind of close to home. Well, it is close to home since my kin type is the Eastern Canadian Red Wolf. I am a wolf. The most common kin type. Not the species, but the animal itself, well, is the most common kin type, undeniably the most common kin type in the furry community. Now, there are a few theories as to why this is. One is that a lot of people may just be various dogs, and since all dogs have an aspect of wolf in them, then they're looking too deep within themselves and seeing the wolf within the dog that they are. That one I'm not so sure about, but that is a theory. There is another one that since the two most common kinds of kin type, the first one being canine and the second being feline, followed possibly by avian, or avian, however the fuck you pronounce that, basically birds, I'm an idiot, are our most common kinds of pets. These are animals we know. These are animals we have grown up with. These are animals we have bonded with more so than any other, well, for most of us. So it would make sense if we awoke, if this furry inside of us awoke, that we would connect it to animals that we know. For most of us, this will be forms of canine and feline, and then, of course, more wilder versions. It's usually more wilder versions of our family pets, such as tigers and wolves, obviously, and coyotes, that kind of thing. That is definitely a theory I could go behind. Another one is that they're just cool. And people go for animals that they're just cool. I often say, when it comes to finding out your kin type, go what rings true. Go what feels right. That does not mean, because not everyone's as lucky as me. When they awake, they know exactly what they are. I didn't know about furry entropy when I first awoke, but I knew it was wolf. Don't know why, but I knew it was wolf. The breed came later. But not everyone's that lucky. Some people search for years to try and find out what the hell they are. And people are impatient. They want the label. Labels are useful. So they often have placeholders, and they go for what they find is cool. Ring true does not mean what you find cool. When I say ring true, I mean if someone says that you're human, does that ring true? Yes, I am human. That rings true. It is true. Same with my furry type is the Eastern Canadian Red Wolf. That rings true. It is true to me. It feels true. I know it is true. That is how it works. It is not a case of what is cool. Because honestly, no, I was going to say that if I could pick, if I could have picked initially, I would probably be something a lot cooler, in my opinion, than a wolf. And here's what I'm going to get at now. If it is the case that people are just using wolves as placeholders, because it is interesting to note that a lot of people, when they first awake, they're wolves, and then later on down the line, they realize that there's something else. And this is a pretty common thing to my understanding. Now, I wonder why that is. What is about? I'm not saying that wolves are bad. I like wolves. That's mainly because that's my kin type, though. Before I awoke, as I've said many times before, I had I had very little interest in wolves. I have always been a reptile and amphibian kind of guy, and to another extent, birds, because birds are one of the most challenging, fun, and just beautiful animals to capture, photography-wise. Um, but placeholder wise, let me just give you a little information here about various animals that I consider cool. Now, I am by no means the guru or the ultimate Wikipedia or encyclopedia, as it were, of animals. I haven't looked up this information to back it up before making this video. My favorite animal in existence, or otherwise, that I know of, is the platypus. To my knowledge, the male platypus has venom glands in its back feet. It has platypi have beaver-like tails, duck bills, duck-like mouths. They have webbed, clawed feet. They have a fluffy body like once again, a beaver or some kind of rodent. They have reptilian-like eyes, I believe. They're freaking cool. They are the most unique, coolest animal on this planet as far as I'm concerned. They are really freaking cool. And I'm not just saying this because the existence of Perry. The platypi has gained a lot of fans because of Perry the platypus. I'm sorry. I'm gonna sound really freaking whatever the click is. I forgot the name of the click, but I'm gonna sound really that here, but I like platypi before Perry existed. Another animal is the Jackson's chameleon. Now, I state the Jackson's chameleon over any other species of chameleon because the Jackson's chameleon is unique because it has 3 freaking horns on its face. Now, obviously, the most well-known trait of a chameleon is that it can change its skin color to match its surroundings and also to display various emotions or to attract mates and that kind of thing. A lesser known factoid about the chameleon in general is that it can control each one of their eyes separately. One eye could be looking forward whilst the other can be looking back. Really freaking cool animals. Their tongue, another very well-known fact about the chameleon, is like a freaking harpoon. It can zip out to at quite a distance to capture quite a distance in proportions to the chameleon itself, to capture even the fastest of its prey, without its prey even knowing what the frick hit them. Really cool, really just fascinating and interesting animals. Now we have the flying fox. Now, to my knowledge, the flying fox is the largest species of bat on this planet that we know of. It is amazing that these creatures can even get off the ground. They're essentially giant fruit bats. Most people, when they think of bats, they think of the smaller fruit bats or vampire bats, but I think of flying foxes. These things are huge, beautiful, really cool animals. And when I think of wolves, sure, I like wolves. Sure, wolves have this majesty to them. They're perfect symbols for so many things. There's a lot that we humans have in common with them, and as such can make it easy to identify with. Which, once again, is another theory why a lot of kin awaken wolf. Wolves are cool animals, but really, they're wild dogs. Essentially, they're wild dogs. I wouldn't recommend petting one. But that's what they are. They're just big dogs, big canines. And, okay, that dog I have in my house is a Yorkshire Terrier, but she probably has an element of wolf in her like all other dogs. So, I'm sorry, I love wolves, don't get me wrong, but I only really love them because of my kin type being one. Before I awoke, I never really gave them much thought. There are so much more cooler animals and plant life out there than wolves. And this is why it really just confuses me. I mean, okay, I realize that everyone is into nature and very, I want to photograph it like I do, but people know about chameleons. People know about bats. People know about the fucking platypus, I imagine. Does it... What's so special about wolves? I mean, once again, I'm not implying that you choose your kin type. I'm not implying that being kin is a choice. But I really don't understand what is so just special about wolves when they're so much they're much more cooler and unique and fascinating and beautiful and just all around awesome animals in nature. I've just named 3 of my personal favorites. There are so many more out there. I mean, the freaking, if you want wild and dangerous, how about the fucking Tasmanian devil? Those things are crazy and awesome. We've got various kinds of incredibly unique insect and arachnid. Trapdoor spider. This thing builds a web. This thing builds a burrow and has a flap above the burrow with the web basically goes down into the burrow and then connects on this flap. And if something walks across it, like say an ant, the vibration will go down to the web to the trapdoor spider underneath, and this spider will zoom up and grab the fucking ant and bring it down to numb on it to its heart's content. Freaking awesome. There's another kind of spider that I forget its name, but it basically it sits in a position and pretty much uses a net. It will wait until something travels under it, and then it will shoot down and grab its prey in this net made out of web. Spiders have some of the spiders are one of the species of creatures that have some of the most unique and interesting way of hunting because of the web. Nature, okay, I know that spiders for a lot of people aren't exactly the most beautiful creatures. Same applies to Tasmanian devils or Jackson's chameleons, but come on. There are so many cooler animals out there in nature than wolves. And this is not me. I'm not. My point of this video is not to say that. It is not basically saying that I don't think wolves are cool, thus proving that I am indeed wolf. That is not what I'm doing here. I think wolves are cool, but the reason why I think wolves are cool is because I looked into them more when I awoke. It's because of my furry-anthropy that I think wolves are cool. It's me being interested in myself, which is why I think wolves are cool. Other kinds of animals are just fucking cool, and they're so much cooler than these big wild dogs as far as I'm concerned. And I've repeated myself enough in this video by now. I don't think it's very educational at all. It's just basically me sharing an opinion that I just want to, say right now before I forget. I will probably repeat in the podcast. Not this long-windedly, but I'll probably repeat it. But yes. Please tell me why you think there are so many wolves in the community. Don't get me wrong, I'm not looking down on wolves. I just really want to know what makes wolves so special. There are other pack animals out there. There are other herd animals. Elephants are a perfect example of this. Elephants care for their herd members, unlike so many other kinds of animals. They communicate in a variety of ways and have emotions and intelligence that we're just beginning to understand. Please explain to me why wolves are just... What's so special about them? I like them, but why are they so common? Give me your opinions. I know this is a very common topic in the kin community for obvious reasons, but I'd like to hear what you think. And to H giving you your much needed braingasm.